Woohoo! We are live. Okay, I just quickly need to share this in the City Girl Savings Facebook group. So bear with me. And if you're not already in that Facebook group, I highly recommend you join. Always have good conversations going on in there and all that good stuff. So let me share. And I'm also going to be on Instagram Live, so just getting my ducks in a row here, people. If you're on, definitely say hi. I would love to know who's watching. If you're on the replay, say hi as well. Okay. Budgeting. Okay, yay, I'm excited to talk about this today. Today I'm going to be really walking you through the most important things you need to know about budgeting. But before I do that, let me not forget about my Instagram folks over here. Okay. All right, I am live in both places. I am live on Facebook, I am live on Instagram. I am feeling good, finally got it together. If you are here with me live, say hi. If you're on the replay, say hi. In case you don't know me, I am Rhea Reeves, founder of City Girl Savings and budgeting coach for the company. I am all about budgeting, teaching women how to budget, teaching women how to follow their budget, and reach whatever financial goals they have. So, speaking of budgets, today I want to share with you a few very, very, very important things you need to know about budgeting. And these points are kind of all over the place, so just bear with me, but I think they are the most important things anyone, woman or man, needs to know about budgeting. So, let's dive in. First thing you need to know about budgeting is that budgeting is not one size fits all. And when I say that, I mean there is not one specific way to budget. There is not one specific way to track your spending. There are so many different methods for budgeting. For example, zero-based budgeting, where you allocate your income down to the penny. There's the 50-30-20 budget rule. There's cash-only budgeting. So there are a bunch of different methods you can try to find the right one that works for you. Another point is there are different ways to go about creating your budget. So you can physically write out your numbers. You can track in Excel or spreadsheets, worksheets. There are apps, softwares you can use. So how you budget also looks very different. It is not one size fits all. The only thing that is a constant when it comes to budgeting, so forget about how you budget, forget about what tool you use to actually keep track of your budget. The one thing that remains the same for everyone is that it just has to be done. You have to budget. Doesn't matter how you do it, how you track, you just need to budget. So important. The next thing you need to know about budgeting, and I really want you guys to pay attention to me here, is the fact that budgeting is a skill that can be learned. So just because you may have sucked at budgeting or numbers or math or Excel or whatever in the past does not mean you can't get it together like starting right now, right? Like you can learn how to budget. You can learn how to make your budget work for you and your situation. It is not a lost cause. You absolutely can learn and seek out resources to help you. So there are plenty of books and blog articles on how to budget. You can work with a coach like me or a financial advisor. You can use an app. A lot of people use Mint or Every Dollar. You can, use a service, a software. YNAB is pretty popular. So there are plenty of options. Don't think that just because you haven't been able to budget successfully in the past that you can't get it together now. And DM me, private message me if you want to challenge that, because I will show you a thing or two. Okay, moving right on. Next thing, budgeting requires a positive mindset. Okay, is that a little corny? Hopefully not. The power of positive thinking is astronomical, even outside of budgeting, but I'm gonna stay focused here. Budgeting absolutely requires you to be positive. I mean, if you are negative about creating a budget, sticking to your budget, just seeing your budget on paper like makes you sick, it is not going to work because you're negative, you don't want to do it, you don't enjoy it. It's like if you don't like going to the gym, like you can psych yourself up to go, but after a couple of weeks, you're like, I can't do this anymore. Same with budgeting. So you really need to change your outlook. If you look at all of the positives that come with budgeting, so for example, you know exactly where your income should be going, you know what bills can get paid, you know how much you can save, you know how much can go towards debt. When you know all that information, you are more likely to be positive, number one, and more likely to be successful with your budget. So definitely try to shift your mindset, especially if you have a negative one around budgeting. And just remember that a budget doesn't mean you can't have fun. A budget doesn't mean, you're stuck inside. A budget simply tells you what you can afford to do and what you can't. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Knowledge is power. So when you understand the positives of budgeting in your situation, it's going to make following that budget so much easier. Okay? All right, moving right along. Budgeting is more than just numbers right in front of you. So when I say that, I mean, you can't just write down all of your bills and expenses and expect that to be your budget, boom, you're done. No, budgeting is a constant action. So it's constantly being mindful of your spending, of whatever choices you're making with your money, being mindful of your thoughts around budgeting, and being mindful of your progress, right? So, how much should you be saving? How much can go towards debt? Not just having your numbers on paper, but actually thinking through your financial decisions. When you have a budget and you do have those numbers on paper, it makes it easier for you to know what steps to take to move forward. But you got to follow it, right? Like if you give yourself a limit to spend on fun stuff, you got to stick to it. So it's way more than numbers just right in front of you. It's constant action. And then the last thing I want you to know about budgeting, and my clients can attest to this, I can attest to this. Well, actually, I'm an anomaly, but regardless, budgeting gets better as you get better. So me personally, I've always loved budgeting. I think budgeting is fun. I love creating budgets for people because it's just so great to see how a person can allocate their income and how much progress they can truly make if they know what they're doing and if they follow it. So I love doing that, but I've had clients who started working with me and they didn't like budgeting. They didn't think they could follow a budget. It just totally, they didn't want to deal with it, but they knew they had to, right? Like you have to deal with it. But throughout our time together, they come to love budgeting because they were able to see all of the progress they were making and they got the hang of it, right? Like once you get better and better at something, you enjoy doing it. You enjoy challenging yourself to see how much better you can do, how much more you can save, how much more you can cut back. So, as you get better with budgeting, you're going to feel better about it. And as your budget works and as you stick to it, it's just going to make you feel a lot better, make you feel motivated, keep you in that positive state of mind, which you need to actually follow a budget. So that is the final thing I wanted to share with you on budgeting. One last thing, a little off topic, but not really. This Saturday, I am hosting a training called Breaking Through Your Budgeting Barriers. So if you know that you are negative when it comes to budgeting, you don't really know what it takes, your past budgets haven't worked for you, you definitely don't want to miss this free training on Saturday. I'm going to walk you through how a budget can change your life for the better, how you can shift your mindset around budgeting. So I'm going to go through some negative thoughts you probably have about budgeting and how you can turn those around into positive ones. And then what your budget needs to be successful. So the 4 things that everyone's budget, so this doesn't change no matter who you are, what everyone's budget needs to be a success. So the link will be in the description of this video on Facebook and in the link in the bio on Instagram. So that's it. I've talked my mouth off. I'm thirsty. I am going to head out. But if you have any questions about budgeting or anything in general, just reach out to me. Happy to help. All right, everyone. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.